And JP Morgan released its latest GDP forecast today. It's upgraded the outlook for the US and downgraded the outlook for Europe. It says both economies will still contract this year, but the US has improved from a 7% contraction estimate in April to a 2.5% contraction in its latest report. It's quite remarkable given the year and the lockdowns we've had. I asked Daniel Lacalle why the US outlook has improved, but Europe's has actually worsened. Lacalle is the chief economist at the Tressis hedge fund.
I think that there are a number of things. If we look first at the expectations after the reopening of the economy, brokers had a very optimistic view about a rapid recovery of the Eurozone. And I think that that's being challenged by the effect of the second wave of COVID-19, also by a very, very weak services sector, and the manufacturing sector as well has proven to be also weakening, particularly in August and September. So what we're seeing is that whilst in the United States we have been seeing gradual improvements, even with a slowdown, but gradual improvements in manufacturing and services, in the Eurozone, the services sector has gone into contraction, severe contraction, and the manufacturing sector seems to be weakening, both from the COVID-19 second wave, but also from the misguided Eurozone stimulus, which was fundamentally directed at government spending and large corporation zombification.
And then from the US perspective, looking a little more positive, how much of this improvement or upgrade would you put down to things like consumer spending or what some people might call the real economy versus other factors?
Well, most of the improvement actually comes from a better view about the consumer spending. We have seen, for example, that new house starts, that the level of the services sector is back to pre-pandemic level. So in an economy in which 70% is about coming from the consumer sector, that's where most of the improvement in estimates is coming from. On the other side, obviously, government spending has risen, but it's been fundamentally directed to give money to households and small businesses, which has ended up working better than the Eurozone stimulus.
And in the Eurozone, we've had you on to speak about, obviously, what you would like them to do, ideally. What do you expect them to do for the next 6 to 12 months?
I think we will see a further acceleration of the programs that have been implemented so far. I think that the European Central Bank will continue to support very aggressive government spending and very large entitlement programs. The furloughed jobs will continue to be supported by most Eurozone economies. And I think also that most of the larger and more challenged economies of the Eurozone, like Spain and Italy, are aiming to rely their recovery on the so-called recovery fund from the European Commission that is largely going to be implemented in the next 2 years. And we know from history that the impact on growth and jobs of these very aggressive government plans tends to be a lot weaker than what governments and consensus expects.
Okay, Daniel, appreciate your insights as always. Thank you.
Thank you very much.